So happy to introduce Hamid, the project manager at the City of Kelowna for the implementation of Cityworks AMS there, as well as Bryan, Chabeniuk, the corporate asset management coordinator. And we're going to be hearing about how they have extended their implementation of Cityworks with ArcGIS apps specifically. So please take it away, Hamid.
Thanks very much. My name is Hamid. I work for City of Kelowna as the senior project manager for this program. And I've been on this journey for almost 6 years working on this project. And we have deployed quite a bit. And I wanted to kind of share some of the examples that we have done in integrating Cityworks with other tool sets. But before we start getting into some of the presentation, I just wanted to give you a quick overview of our implementation. Okay, our agenda topics are asset management challenges, program objectives, corporate asset management systems, Cityworks implementation, and integration with ArcGIS, and some of the conclusion topics as what our future opportunities are. The challenges, we have a very typical kind of standard municipality challenges. Infrastructure is getting old, community is growing significantly, and funding is very limited. We own and maintain approximately $4 billion worth of assets. We acknowledge that we need to find better and efficient way to manage our infrastructure. So that really was the vision that we wanted to work with. And what we wanted to accomplish, our hope was that is we need to eliminate silo systems and duplication of data sources, implementing single source of truth. We need to have the ability to quickly look at our operational status so we can make informed decisions. Break fix is the most expensive maintenance practice. We need to practice preventative and predictive maintenance. Ability to forecast, a more accurate planning and budgeting, take emotions out of the process and work with the facts. Bringing technology closer to the value chain by providing right information to the right person at the right time really was our objective. So in a pictorial kind of representation, we wanted to make Cityworks is our one-stop shop as a common user interface. And we have integrated with many of our corporate data sources, either be the financial or the HR. And we wanted to make sure that anything I wanted to manage on behalf of the asset, I should be able to get it in there. If we couldn't incorporate, we provided a link within Cityworks to go launch the application, but it seems that way that you haven't left the Cityworks. So giving that idea of this one is it's a one-stop shop. Advantage of the Cityworks that we selected, because it's a very modular capabilities. And then our asset register that sits on ArcGIS, it was a great complement for both of those ones. Cityworks implementation integrated with many of our data sources. We eliminated a whole bunch of spreadsheets and standalone applications. But the key thing I wanted to mention at this time is selecting a product is important, but selecting the right partner is even more critical. The product is as good as it can be supported. So it's very important to put our due diligence in regards of selecting the right partner for our services. So what we have implemented to date, currently we have 700 plus users using Cityworks in 27 different departments. Many business areas have unique business functions and processes, but we also recognize that if we don't work strategically, we could end up with many different software systems. To address those unique needs, we expanded Cityworks usage by leveraging on ArcGIS capabilities and diversify Cityworks implementation. We even use as Cityworks as our corporate safety management system and also incident reporting system that often people don't think that belongs in the Cityworks environment. But as I mentioned earlier, due to its modular capabilities and ability to complement other tools, we were able to deploy that kind of configuration. Now we would like to present you with some examples that how we have done, and I will ask that my colleague Bryan Chabeniuk to take over and give you an overview of some of those examples. Thank you.
Thank you, Hamid, and thank you to everyone listening. I will go through 4 examples with you today. They're examples that we used where we utilize Survey 123 to extend Cityworks in order to meet the unique needs of our business areas here at the City of Kelowna. So I'll briefly go over the first 3 solutions that we created in response to questions from the various departments here in the city. And then following that, I'll do a live demonstration of the fleet preventative maintenance checklist that we created for our fleet department. And before I get into those examples, I just wanted to talk a little bit about our integration methodology. So in the examples I'm about to share with you, we use Survey 123 in combination with FME to enhance Cityworks to meet our needs. As many of you know, Survey 123 is a powerful tool that can be configured in so many different ways to meet the unique needs of our end users. A great part of why Survey 123 is so adaptable is because of the fact that it's updated multiple times throughout the year, and it has a great support and development community. Overall, it provides a user-friendly experience that reduces mistakes and simplifies workflow. From Survey 123, we use webhooks and scheduled tasks to trigger the FME process, depending on what our business area requests. We have webhooks to trigger the FME process on submission of a survey, or if they prefer the scheduled approach, we can set FME processes to trigger on set intervals, whatever meets their business needs best. Our FME process uses Cityworks API calls to create inspections or work orders, populate the fields that were collected in the survey, attach related assets, attachments, or related work activities, if applicable. We can also send out automated email notifications when that is needed in the process. FME is great for allowing us the freedom to pull in data from multiple sources and file types, manipulate that data, and then push that data into Cityworks. And then, of course, in Cityworks, we can slice and dice that data, present it to the users as needed, and have access to that historical data with ease. So by combining these tools, we are able to extend the capabilities of what is possible in our asset management journey. So I'll jump right into example 1. Initially, we were tasked with creating a way for city staff to report security incidents electronically. This process was previously done on paper and then submitted in person to the security team. We chose Survey 123 because it allowed us to easily create a form that was mobile friendly, that fit the requirements given to us. It also gave us the ability to restrict submissions to city staff only. Upon the submission of an incident report from a member of the city staff, the survey is pushed into Cityworks, a Cityworks inspection, where members of the security team can review that submission, look at any attachments that came along with it, and add any additional information to the Cityworks inspection that wasn't needed to be inputted by the end user. We also created an AGL operations dashboard that provides the security team with interactive maps and widgets to help analyze the data further. With the success of that staff reporting tool, the security team decided that they wanted to extend the service to select external businesses and organizations. This allows those using the app to easily connect with our security staff and report incidents that they encounter out in the community, overall helping to improve the safety of our city. Now, both internal and external reports flow into Cityworks and the AGL dashboard, where they can be easily viewed together or filtered to be viewed and analyzed separately. Example 2 that I'll go over briefly was from our active living and culture team. They were looking for a replacement option for their ice plant inspections that were previously being done on paper. This inspection happens every 2 hours and is an important part of their daily routine. They had some requirements that we felt were a good fit for Survey 123. It needed to be simple to use, have the ability to incorporate limits and ranges, be easy to access historic inspections, and a way for managers and supervisors to monitor the results. We were able to meet and surpass all of their requirements and able to add functionality that automatically fills in the inspector's name, who is signed into the device. The form automatically selects the correct time range based on where the current time is within that range. So for example, because they're busy, they might not always get to their inspections rate at the, say, for example, the 10 a.m. inspection. They might get to it around 11:15. So the survey knows that time range and will select the correct 10 a.m. inspection. That way, it allowed us to use text values for those pick lists instead of actual time values. We are also able to incorporate soft and hard warnings with predetermined limits and ranges, as well as simplify the inspection based on whether a piece of equipment was on or off. So if the compressor was off, they wouldn't have to go through and answer 0 for all those questions related to that compressor. They can click off and they don't have to answer those questions. This just cleaned up the survey and made it a simpler process to flow through. When the survey is complete, it is pushed into Cityworks as an inspection, as well as the AGL dashboard, which we also embedded within a tab in Cityworks. And this provides managers and supervisors with instant access to the data from anywhere, as well as easily access to historic data by selecting the date from the map on the side. For the third example, we have our sign shop intake form that city staff use when requesting new signs from the sign shop. This form is meant to help both the requester and the sign shop streamline the ordering process. This form is broken down into 4 sections, making it easier to follow for the requesters and ensuring that no information is missed. Survey 123 also allowed us to provide useful feedback to the requester, like simple things like letting them know when the section is complete by turning that panel to green. That way they can easily tell they haven't missed any information. In the contact information panel, we are able to grab the username, email, and department automatically from the details of the signed in user. This saves the requester time from having to enter this information, and the only thing we require for them to add is a contact number they want for this request. The next section is the approvals panel. This was very important to the sign shop to have this in there. They want to ensure that the request has both the approval of the department manager and an account number for the sign shop to charge to. This eliminates random requests that were not pre-approved and saves the sign shop staff from having to chase down managers and account numbers. So Survey 123 also allows us to provide the requester with a preview of the sign they're requesting. This can be very useful when there are several variations of a particular sign and the requester wants to make sure they're choosing the right sign. When all sections are complete and green, the request is ready to be submitted. Upon submission, our FME process creates a Cityworks work order populated with all the information from the survey, as well as the print of the sign is attached to the work order and any additional attachments that the requester submitted. From there, communication between the requesting department and the sign shop happens through work orders and emails as before. Next, I'll move into the final example, and I'll talk a little bit about this, and then I'll do a live demo for you guys. So our fleet department came to us with a request asking if we could come up with a way to make the preventative maintenance inspection less of a burden on their mechanics. This was a very important inspection mandated by the province to allow them to stay compliant and be allowed to perform their own preventive maintenance inspections without having to send their units out to external facilities to have this done. The inspection consisted of over 200 questions related to various components within the vehicle. They had some simple asks. Make this inspection more intuitive, have easy access to past inspections because they do get audited frequently by the province to make sure that they are staying compliant, and make sure the inspection was accessible on desktop computers as well as mobile devices. So now I'll go into a live demonstration of this inspection. So this all starts on the work order. So this particular work order, and this is our test site so I can play around. This was a repair work order that the mechanic was working on. So once he had completed the work for this particular work order, he would scroll down to the preventive maintenance inspection panel. And he has the option here, if he had an iPad, he could scan the QR code and do the inspection on an iPad, or because all of our mechanics have computers at their workstations, they found that they preferred doing the inspection on their desktop computer. So like them, they would just click the link that opens up Survey 123. Just let that load up. While that's loading, okay, here we go. So you can see right away from the work order, it already grabbed the unit number that work order was for, grabs today's date, it grabs the work order number, and the odometer reading that was on that work order. We just asked them to fill in their name, and I'll just put in mine for this one. So they can start filtering the list by typing their last name and select their name. We have a little preview window here of that just confirms what unit they're working on, and it had a previous reading before this work had committed. One very important ask that Fleet had was they wanted a very quick and visual way of knowing which sections had been completed in the inspections and which ones were left to be done. So we created this panel here that until all the questions in that particular section are complete, the bars are red. And you'll notice that we decided to go with an image map for Survey 123 to break out the questions in a more intuitive way for the mechanics to use. So you'll see that there's no questions open until I click on a component. So if they start with the interior of the unit, if they click on interior, then all the questions pertaining to the interior of the unit are displayed and broken up so that it's not overwhelming as it was before when they had all 200 questions on a piece of paper. So if they go through, they can answer pass or fail or not applicable. And just for this, I'll go through and just put pass for each one. Each section has an area for additional comments. This isn't a required field, so if they don't put any comments, it'll still count as being a finished inspection. You can see that interior has now switched from red to green and moved to the front of the list. Click on exterior, see similar type of questions. We can go through, I'll just put pass for each one of these. And now you can see exterior has gone to green as well. So if I click on to the tires, I get the questions that pertain just to the front left tire. So I'll just put some whatever numbers in here so I can get through it. You'll notice that it switches automatically to the next question. Ease of use, and I'll say pass for this one. I'll do the same for the next tire. And I'll just do these 4 tires all together. Now, the decision was made by the fleet department to only use one image for all vehicle types. We did say that we could do different images based on what unit was selected, but for this process, they wanted one image. So if their unit does not have, for example, this set of tires, we added the applicable to unit. And if they select no, the questions disappear and that tire becomes green. So I'll just go ahead and select no for these outside ones. And you'll notice as I'm doing that, they're changing from red to green. So now we can see we've got all the tires done. We've got the exterior and the interior done as well. Switch over to the engine components. Put in the coolant strength, pH. And go through and answer the questions that relate to the engine. The feedback we've got from the mechanics is that they really enjoy using this new system compared to the old paper sheet. It's much smoother flowing through all of the questions. If I click on the charging system, first they're asked the number of batteries. So if they select one battery, they only have to do the voltage load test for the one battery. Or if they choose all four, if there's 4 batteries involved, they could do the voltage test for all of them. You'll notice, again, it'll switch right to the next question without having to click on it. Put the alternator output, and then just say pass. So now charging system is complete. Go over to transmission. Enter the transmission levels. Pass for all these. Just try to get through this quickly to save some time.
Oh, fine. We know the art of demo magic, Brian. How long would it take a mechanic to typically go through this process, considering detail is important?
Yeah, it takes them quite a while. That's why it was important for them to have this section up top to know what they've done, because sometimes they have to leave and come back to the inspection. They didn't want to have to kind of try to remember. So having this quick visual representation really helped them to understand where they've left off, what they have left to do. They can quickly see, okay, I need to do rear suspension. I'm going to go through and answer those questions.
Sounds good. Yeah, day in the life, you get interrupted, right?
Yeah, exactly. Same with brakes. If it's hydraulic, different questions come up. If it's air, if you 1 axle, 3 axles. So just for time, I'll just go through and answer these quickly. You can see now I have all sections green. I'm ready to submit my survey, submit the inspection. Send now. Now that that's been submitted, our FME process runs. And I'll switch back over to Cityworks. The FME process takes a few minutes to run, and once it's complete, I'll refresh the screen so that we can see the result in Cityworks.
You have a minute for a question then, Brian?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, while that FME process is doing its back-end magic, we may as well answer this front-end question. So is Cityworks data written back to Survey 123 at all? Like right now we're looking at, data obviously coming in from a GIS feature service into Cityworks.
Yes, we can go the opposite way. We can push data into a survey before it's completed. This process didn't involve that, but yes, that's something we can do for sure.
Yeah, because kind of that close the loop, business problem. So this comes in right now. It's a work order or as an inspection, pardon me. And, you complete that. It would be kind of nice if you have that completion status, date and time, maybe name of the tech, that type of stuff, going back to that feature service. So yeah, good to know that is a supported possibility. That is a question that came in from the group that's hanging out over in the Q&A and chat panels. Thanks so much, Brian.
Thank you. So now back on the Cityworks work order, we can see in the related work activities field that there is now an inspection created. If I go ahead and open up that inspection, we can see that it was inspected by me on this date. You can see the unit number, odometer reading, and of course, all the questions have been filled out as you would expect. If I click over to the details panel, I can see that it's got the unit attached to that. And of course, its related work activity shows the original work order. If I go to the unit itself and look at the asset reader for that. Let's go back here for a second. Look at this unit's asset viewer, look at work history. Now I can see that it has an inspection in this work history. So it's all tied together nicely that way. And with that, that ends my demo, and I'll switch quickly back to Hamid.
Okay, thanks very much. So as we believe, Cityworks implementation as the corporate asset management is really a journey and continuous improvement. So on the specific topic of integration with other areas and other tools, we're looking into future opportunities as improving existing business processes we've done for the pre-trip and post-trip inspections. Those kind of things and the inspection that demo Brian just gave that has earned us the from Transport Canada as the best managed facility because we were able to demonstrate that how we're managing our maintenance and the inspection before these trucks goes out on the road and all that kind of thing. We are also getting a very good feedback for the sign shop. They wanted to be able to do the cost management within that one and build a bit of a historical information so people can start leveraging on that database. Adding new business as a workflows, arenas and stadiums replacing their paper-based assessments kind of thing for the ice taps and the rink cleaning and stuff like that. We also have some ideas, and we've been working on trying to finalize and tweak that, pretty much kind of ready to demonstrate to the business areas that how we can do the grease trap compliance certification evaluation and also the water backflow prevention inspections. Those are legislative requirements, and we wanted to make sure we have the ability to demonstrate how well we're managing those functions. So that's kind of our presentation. We are really excited and continually pushing the envelope for the Cityworks and trying to make the best other implementation of functions. Thanks.